gun review. If you happen to look at the thumbnail for this video, you already know what's going down. You know it. You love it. Really, you probably hate it. The weapon is so underrated, they accidentally gave it more than double the aim assist. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the Queenbreaker's the Queenbreaker. Nailed it. This linear fusion rifle was the first of its kind when it showed up in the best crucible patch of Destiny 1. The House of Wolves expansion. It was absolutely bananas, and I used it at any opportunity I could to remind Vandals that I was better than them and inflate my own ego. And despite my obviously mountainous levels of skill, this was still important to me, since I still hadn't gone flawless. Group trials. I still don't understand who the Queenbreaker actually was though. In Destiny 1, the gun was called the Queenbreaker's bow, but since Bungie decided to fuck around and put the only useful weapon and put bows into the game, they had to change the name so that people wouldn't be confused. But this is obviously still the Queenbreaker's bow, right? The Queen is Mara, and the only person that could really beat the Queenbreaker is Skolas, since he overthrew her and took the fucking kids. Man, what a jerk. But Skolas used a Scorch Cannon, which is already a thing in the game, so obviously this thing is not it. Let's say maybe the Breaker is more of a title, so instead the Queenbreaker is really someone that has a lot of power under the Queen of the Reef and doesn't actually, break the Queen. If that were the case, you'd expect Petra to be the Queenbreaker, right? But she gives you an entirely different bow, and obviously that's not the Queenbreaker. And to make all of this make even less sense, there is actually a wanted enemy in the game by the name of the Queenbreaker. Have you found him? Is he a Dreg? A Vandal? Maybe a crazy sniping captain? Nope, he's a fucking servitor. A servitor that doesn't even have arms or shoot guns, and he's not even a cool servitor. He's so disappointing, look at him. Probably has a Marasab body pillow or something. God. Anyway, it's a linear fusion, and linear fusions were trash, so it's not like anyone would use it, right?
Wrong!
In Gambit, the obvious choice was to use the Sleeper Stimulant, another linear fusion, but that got nerfed, so people moved on to the Queenbreaker, since it did essentially the same thing, but needed, I don't know, like 2% more skill. Guys, we're talking over 2.5 times the aim assist here. So people that prayed to RNGesus were able to terrorize the Crucible and Gambit like they had aimbot on. Just look at this. That's fucking ridiculous. Skolas a bitch for not copy striking that servitor. He totally had auto aim first in the Prison of Elders. Also, for some reason, the Queenbreaker is a heavy weapon, but the Fireball Toaster 9000 is a special weapon. I don't really know what the thought process was behind this, but if we're ignoring the fact that the Queenbreaker's headshot hitbox is 3.5 miles wide, it really is at a disadvantage. And this doesn't even take into account oh wait, I'm supposed to be reviewing this gun. What am I doing? It's good. You should use it.